Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have to build this. This is a 7-piece crown, and it's referred to as an entablature because it sits above the casing, which is referred to as the architrave. So you have your architrave, frieze, and I believe the top is called corona. But that whole system there makes up the entablature, and that's pretty much what we're about to get started on. We're just setting up shop here. John's running the last few pieces of trim, and yeah, I brought everything. I brought the pocket machine, which we had when we did the windows. Didn't really get to film that, did a little time lapse of it. And another quick update, we got all of our base ran in here. So it's gonna go all around here. There'll be some cabinets back behind that bar area. Turn this corner, inside corner, straight run. And then I believe the pieces they've given us are 12s and 14s. So we're gonna have a lot of seams, but I brought that pocket machine. This is all 3/4 material. So we're pocket screwing all these seams together and gluing them. So these things should be good to go. Does it look like about right? Yeah. What I'm thinking? Rip that to 3 3/4, router out the engaged part, and then just stack the 1x12 on top. And then we can make a spacer block between our molding and our bottom piece of crown. And then where that soffit sits on there, we'll just block it out so we can have something to shoot into. Okay, I'm done. I'm logging out. All right, so our first task at hand is to take some 1x6s and rip them to 3 3/4. We're so close to being able to use 1x4s, but it is what it is, and we gotta follow these drawings to the best of our ability. So we got our 1x6s over there. We'll rip them to 3 3/4, and then we gotta figure out how to put a rabbet or a little lap joint on the edge of them so we can engage our little piece of molding, because when you see it, you'll understand, but the molding basically needs to look like it's coming out of the board. So we just ran into a little issue here. All these 1x6s they were gonna rip right now to the 3 3/4. We got 7 of them. We need 6. I grabbed an extra piece, but the last 2 are some off-brand counterfeit money type junk. Like they're 11/16, and they feel really flimsy. So we're gonna have to trade those back in for some Windsor because we need that true 3/4 for this whole thing to work. So it happens. These must have got mixed in with the good stuff. These are the 2 offenders right here, and they don't say call Kurt for a shirt on the back either. They just have some random numbers. So John's gonna take these 2 counterfeit pieces back real quick. Thankfully the place is not too far. So he's just gonna run these back, and I'll start figuring out what's going on with us doing that engaged piece of trim. But I'm thinking I might be able to use the Milwaukee little trim router because we don't have to take that much out of these boards. And I've got that fence, so I'm gonna mess around with that while he's gone. But look at this. So these right here are about 5/8 of an inch. And that is just not gonna work for us. I mean, that's thin. I mean, as soon as you grab it, you feel like how much thinner it is. But I'm gonna let him get out of here so we can get those boards back to us. That 1/8 of an inch, man, it makes a huge difference. That's why I always tell everyone, if you can, spend a little bit more and just get the Windsor. It's not even that much more. It's totally worth it. And no, this video is not sponsored by Windsor One, although I'm not against that. All right guys, so here's our piece of molding right here. It's represented right here on the drawing, and that little cove shape profile at the bottom needs to come out like it's basically all part of this board right here. So this right here looks like a single board. Then when we stack that one up on top, it all kind of goes together. So basically, I got to cut a little slot for that little cove to fall into and be flush on the face of our 1x. And thankfully, I brought my Amana tool set today. So I'm going to see if I can find a bit in here that'll work for this. Okay, that was not planned, I promise you. This one right here should do it. So that's my molding height right there, the exact same height as my bit. This is going to be a piece of cake with this. So there you can see our molding and our bit. I mean, that is a perfect match. I'm good with that. It's good? Yeah. All right, that's all 6 right there. We need some little scraps, but we already ran those. For the seams, every wall in here will be one seam. But for these seams, we'll just pocket screw this stuff together, and we'll use our laser here to get the measurements. All right guys, our first piece of our first ever entablature. It's a big moment. How you looking? Good. We'll just tack it in for now. You should have waited. It's probably hot everywhere. Probably had a lot of bills that were on track. So for these longer pieces, they're like 32 feet long, just under 32 feet. We're gonna be using biscuits and glue instead of pocket screws, because that's a big piece to hold up there for both of us. If we had a third person, probably work, but this will hold. A lot of people don't know this about biscuits. They actually do provide holding power because they get wet with the glue and then they swell up, but they're definitely not just an alignment piece. They do have some hold. So we're gonna knock it out with some biscuits. Yeah. Did it give you a pretty good compression fit? Yeah. Okay, good. And we'll still just tack them for now. All right, guys, we got the first piece in all the way around the room, and we went ahead and threw our level back up here, laser level, I guess I should say. I just screwed it into our board, and then that is obviously gonna tell us how good we did, but we mostly did it because that piece over there, where there's not really a window or a door to kind of support for us, we kind of needed to know if that was sagging or not. So we got that right on our line, and now John is going around with the stud finder and sending it home, and we're doing that with 16 gauge finish nail. So now we're gonna get on that little trim piece. So nice reveal right here, smooth transition, and this piece just looks good. They'll probably just fill that in a little bit. They'll probably just throw a little bead of caulking in there. And once this is all painted, this is gonna look good, but really, they don't have to do anything else. They don't have to sand it or anything. It just got that nice, clean look to it. So over here, we'll just throw a little bit of glue on there and pressure fit these in, and it's essentially like you're creating a clamp within the two pieces. So it's eternally clamped, and it only takes that glue like 45 minutes to set up anyways, and these things will be good to go. We got those two pieces in, 3 more going on top and 1 going underneath. I mentioned to these guys that that 1x that we just installed at the bottom, there's that 90-degree edge where it meets the wall. I asked them if we could soften that up and maybe put a cove in there, and they agreed with that. So that'll be a real simple install, and that'll just go from back band to back band. No big deal there. And then the crown going on top of it is going to be that crown, reeded soffit, and then another crown on there. So that's kind of right up our alley. We eat, sleep, and breathe crown. That's like 90% of what we do. So I think that'll go pretty quick. Other than that, guys, tune in next time where we'll have this entablature finished, and I can say I did my first entablature. I can go to the grave happy at that point. We'll see ya.